What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the first Trench Warfare film room of the 2025 season. I'm going to be looking at the Cowboys' offensive and defensive line, Eagles' offensive and defensive line, primarily focused on the offensive lines of each team from their Week 1 Thursday night game. Don't want to keep you too long on the intro here, so let's just go ahead and get right to it. I have quite a few plays here, so I'm going to try to make them as concise as possible, but then also kind of dive deep here and there as we go along. So we're going to start with the Eagles offensive line here. The primary point of emphasis here is going to be on Lane Johnson, future Hall of Famer, all-time great, coming off a spectacular season. I think he's kind of the most interesting guy to look at here. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. We're going to talk about a little bit of everybody. So all right, so this one, I have this one in here because I want you to focus on left guard Landon Dickerson here. So I'm going to go ahead and start it again. You see that two-hand jolt that he delivers right here? So I just said this on Twitter. I think Tyler Smith is probably the strongest player in the NFL, and I think Landon Dickerson is like 1B. So it was pretty cool that both those left guards were, on the same field last night. But just watch the heavy-handedness right here of Landon to jolt this defensive tackle. Watch this. Boom. Right? Just kind of knocks him back. And Landon typically is a very patient pass protector. He wants guys to run through him because they're pretty much going to run into a brick wall. But here he kind of takes the fight to the defender. You could see right there, two hands. Doesn't land perfectly cleanly, but you could just see the power there. Pretty awesome. So yeah, right off the bat, just Landon, man. I mean, a really gritty performance from him as well, because he came into it from the MCL injury that he just had, I believe, a procedure done on 2 weeks ago. So I thought he came back a little early, and then he aggravated it in the game and just clearly wasn't himself as things went along. Gutted it out, was still, good player, but it'll be really interesting to monitor that because he has a lengthy history of knee injuries as well. So anyway, let's focus on Lane Johnson here. Let me rewind as you could. There you go. I mean, also Cam Jurgens, the center. Both of them. Just watch how quickly the center and the right tackle, 65, get off the ball here. I mean, look at the quickness from Jurgens. Because outside zone right here, he has to reach a 2-eye. Lane has to reach a 3 technique, and they both do an excellent job. It's just really, really nice on that blocking. But I was really struck by just Lane on this one. His run blocking doesn't get as much attention as like Panay Sewell, but I think it's really close to being just as good. It's just a little bit different of a style. But the quickness off the ball right here from Lane to reach the 3 technique with ease, it's a rip run technique. Watch the quickness, and he kind of uppercuts that backside hand to get that backside drag hand through his frame. And then look at this position, how he just rides it out, cuts him off. He makes that look real easy. So that's really nice. That's against Kenny Clark. All right, let's keep it going here. I mean, okay, so Lane right here, front side. This is a one-on-one block against Sam Williams, who I thought had a pretty nice game. I think I saw he was like, given credit for 5 pressures. Some of those were just whatever, against tight ends and stuff like that. But he actually had a really nice rush against Lane Johnson. I think it was the 3rd or 4th play of the game. It was an inside club. One of the best moves you'll see against Lane Johnson over the last couple of years, to be honest. I mean, and I don't think that's hyperbole, but we'll get to that. But let's go ahead and look at this right here. So one-on-one, you're initially Lane, he's trying to kick him out, but watch him kind of negotiate his way around to seal him off there. I mean, you can't ask for more than that on the front side for your tackle. This is outstanding. Just to meet him at the point of attack. Good pad level right there. And then just the fluidity throughout that engagement to just wall him off makes it really easy for the running back. So key block right there. That's just really, really good stuff. So I wanted to highlight this one because of Lane Johnson again. Um, this is just, you know, really just showcasing his brilliance as a player, I think. It's just he goes above and beyond, I think, compared to other tackles in the league, because I think that this is actually a pretty decent job by 94 right here to stack him. And then he strings this move, this kind of dip and rip through the corner really nicely. But Lane is able to recover and just make it kind of a moot point. So we'll look at this recovery right here and to harden the corner like he does. And that right there, that's 11 yards behind the line of scrimmage. I mean, you take that every day out of the week. It's just lights out, just I mean, it's special stuff. Jalen, scrambles right here. I think he just gets skittish there, to be honest. He could have just casually stepped up. I mean, if anything, Landon, has the defender broken away from him. So maybe that kind of is a factor there, but he could have just chilled right there in the pocket, to be honest. So yeah, check out Lane right here. Well, first of all, this is a good pause point. Look at Lane. What do you think's going to happen right here? Probably a pass, right? Look at Lane Johnson. He's actually selling pass on this RPO, and he's going to go to a run block. I wanted to highlight this because of how incredible this fake was and how pronounced it was. This is a great pause point that I incidentally stumbled upon here. But just check this out from this point forward. That's just adding a little bit of sauce, onto your game right here. This is craft. This is savviness. This is just high level stuff, man. I mean, he's mixing it up. So let's watch it from the beginning here. See how he's selling that pass set right there, and then he transitions and then just kind of walls that guy up the arc there. Let's watch it again. Selling the pass set and then going to get him. That's freaking awesome. Yeah, so really, really good stuff right there. Let's go ahead and look at Landon here. This is earlier in the game, so a little bit more closer to, full health Landon. But this is the most physically imposing left side in the NFL. So, the biggest left side in the NFL as well, with Jordan Mailata and Landon Dickerson, both 350 plus. This is the backside. This is just a great job on the B block, which is a backside combination. Look at the movement there. It's just incredible. Um, they just knock him back. It's pretty special right there and then there. I mean, that movement vertically and then just to seal that off creates a massive alley for the running back to get through. So just really, really good stuff. All right, let's go back to Lane here. This is a slingshot technique on the backside of zone. So we saw earlier in the red zone area, inside the 5 or 10, whatever that was, close to the end zone. We saw him cut off the backside 3 in just kind of a rip run technique. Now, rather than do that here, he switches it up and he goes to a slingshot technique, which is something I've written about years ago that I always, have an eye for when I'm studying film. I love this technique. But check out this slingshot technique from Lane Johnson. That's really pretty. He actually did this to Grady Jarrett about 6 years ago or so, 5, 6 years ago. And I highlighted that one. I remember that one pretty distinctly. So this is something Lane Johnson has in his bag. But just look at that. What a way to cut off the backside, man. I mean, that's just, you know, savvy veteran type stuff, yet again. He just has so many different ways to win blocks. If it's not through sheer physical ability, it's through technique, and then it's usually a blend of the two. So truly a master at work. So yeah, obviously the play is not successful here for Philly, but another just example real quick here, rip run technique, backside cutoff on the 3, Lane Johnson, just all over that. Now, if this was shored up on the front side, look at Lane Johnson. I mean, just a dominant block here that, of course, is going to be overlooked. But from an individual perspective, just executing his job to perfection right there. So outstanding. So yeah, let's go a little pass protection here, Lane. This is actually a little bit of a change up for him as well. Typically, sets at that 45-degree angle. Again, a patient pass protector lets guys come to him. Executes the double under technique to create lift at the point of attack and kind of swallows guys up, engulfs them routinely. But look at 45, and then you could see him kind of coil up right here. He's going to go 45, but he's going to initiate first meaningful contact there. That's a change up for Lane. So that's just really cool to see. Again, very nuanced, but it does a great job of disrupting that rusher and, just kind of ending the fight pretty quickly there. So here we go. Let's watch Lane here, but against Sam Williams. This was, I think, the third or fourth play of the game, and this was the rush I alluded to earlier, which is one of the better rushes you're going to see against Lane Johnson, maybe the whole season. If Lane plays like he did last year, this would have been the one of the 5 or 6 best rushers that you've seen against Lane when he's at his best because of the manner in which he loses here. So that right there, I mean, Steen is there on the slide to, kind of cut this off from Williams, but the inside club right here and Sam, Williams 54 was working this all night long. Threatened with speed, stutter, inside club, boom, right there. I mean, he pries Lane open and he has a path to the quarterback there very quickly. That's about as clean as Lane Johnson loses, period. Now, of course, the ball's out, all that type of stuff. It's a little subtle, but that was Sam Williams' best rush of the night, I think by far. I mean, anytime you could do this to Lane, it's notable. So yeah, just kudos to him there. That was really nice. So here's a few plays in a row. Here Osa Odigizua, excuse me, that inside cross drop's really nice. Osa's just a really good player. He was slashing tonight, and just he's a very good player. I think, just a well-rounded, slashing kind of guy. Anyway, though, the focus here is Lane Johnson against Dante Fowler, who he just kind of put in witness protection all night, which you would expect. I mean, it's Dante Fowler. He's a solid player, but against Lane, I mean, look at this. Oh, it's just like a dad with his son or something. Here, Lane against Dante, inside spin. Yeah, nothing. Lane against Dante. I mean, nothing happening. Lane sitting on Dante's head right there. Here. Yep, nothing. And then here we go. This is we'll look at Malata here as well because this was highlighted by Brian Baldinger on Twitter. I think there's some important context to add to that, but let's focus on Lane here again. Sam Williams inside club. Boom. It pries him open. Now Lane is in a better position here to recover. So, I will say that he, adapted a little bit and really kind of cut that off and did a really good job. But you could see the kind of the beginning stages of what could be a signature move for Sam Williams. If, nothing else, certainly a viable move in his repertoire as a rusher. So threaten with speed, stutter, inside club, boom. That's a nice move. You at least you challenged Lane there, so that's really, really nice again. Mailata loses clean here on the cross chop by the rookie from Boston College, Ezeraku. So, but I think there's context here. It's a nice rush, pretty solid in my opinion, but it's not like anything special. And the reason I say that is because Jordan Mailata is very late off the ball here, creates a short corner. In addition to that, he's providing a pretty heavy presence on the loose 3, 4 technique right here, Oso Odigizua for Landon. So you could see right there, very late off the ball. Everybody's moving except Mailata. So that right there is going to shorten the edge for the rusher, makes it a little bit easier for him. And then right here, he kind of has to pause, drag hand up, sticks out the hand to try to corral the rusher. But I mean, that's bait, for the cross chop, takes it, boom, clean loss. So yeah, is what it is. Mailata's, a good pass protector, like I said, but certainly not on Lane's level. But I mean, he had, of course, Mailata had some really nice pass pro reps himself this evening as well. So, but a couple clean losses in addition to that. So here, Lane right here, this is just an awesome job by Osa right here as the penetrator on the TE. So let's check this out. Play it all the way through. See how he slips Lane right there? I mean, you really don't see that a whole lot. But I want to kind of break it down here. I think there's some context to point out. So at this point, let me see if I can pause it at the correct spot right here. You want Steen as the right guard to snap this off and at least give a little 6-inch punch, right here, a quick kind of jolt to feed him over to Lane, and no such thing occurs. Basically, he doesn't really barely even touch him, so that makes it more difficult for Lane to overtake this. Now, with that said, let me rewind this just a smidge here so we can focus on Osa, because I think his ability to redirect on this is outstanding. So he kind of does this little hop over, but he immediately plants and redirects the other way. So the shiftiness of Osa Odigizua is outstanding right there, because somehow he's able to redirect on a dime like that, and it gets Lane. Now, the Steen context, with that in the background, I think that's important. But nonetheless, a well executed stunt there by Osa as the point man, to kind of flush Jalen out. So yeah, really nice job there. This was earlier in the game. I think this is the last clip for Eagles O line wise. Watch Lane. The